Thank you. Let's get seated. His Excellency, Mr. President, we will call for the opening prayer by the representative of the Chief Imam of Lagos State, in person of Imam Hakeem Kosoko. We've been briefed that you've had a long day already, so we're going to make it very, very brief. Brevity, the soul of business, for everything we want to do today. Please let the representative of Chief Imam come. Thank you. 1 minute.
اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا وإذا أردت بعبادك فتنة فاقبضنا إليك غير مفتون. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك الحماية.
It is a beautiful day out here. The sun is bright, the weather is nice, and history is about to be made. It is on this cherry note that I welcome you to this telecast, reaching you live on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA. It is the official inauguration of a brand new world-class airport terminal, another each step forward in the infrastructural drive of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The big man himself, NGR 001 as his call sign, is here. And in a moment, we will be inaugurating this new airport terminal. My name is Adini Itaiwo. Welcoming you to this telecast on behalf of the production crew.
President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all His Excellencies that came from far and wide to grace this glorious day and this occasion. We want to thank you for your love. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your grace upon this nation. We thank you for peace. We thank you, O Lord, for security. We thank you for your blessings upon this nation. We thank you for your favor upon us. We thank you for wisdom that you granted our leaders to come up with a project like this. Our prayer is that you perfect today's event, perfect every aspect of this occasion. This edifice, O Lord, will be to the glory of your holy name, and we pray it will be for the good of humanity. We thank you and we pray at the end of this event, you will grant journey mercies back to all. For this we have prayed in Jesus' name. Amen.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, representative of the Senate President, representative of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, our host governor, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, his able deputy, all other excellencies, state governors here present, our own host minister, the indefatigable Hadi Sirika, Honorable Minister, Aviation, all other ministers here represented, and those that are physically here. Special advisors to Mr. President and SSAs here present, other members of EXCO here present, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Aviation, Senator Smart Adeyemi, Chairman Committee of the House of Reps, Senate Committee, and in person of Honorable Nolim Naji, other members of National Assembly here present, His Excellency Chinese Ambassador to Nigeria, Trajian Chuan, the Managing Director, Chief Executive, CCECC, Jian Yigago, Nigerian Ambassador to China, Ambassador Ahmed Baba Jida, Permanent Secretaries here present, our host parastatal Chief Executive, Captain Rabiu Yadudu of FAN, past and present Chief Executives of Federal Parastatals here present, captains of industry and core stakeholders in the aviation sector, my colleagues at Estate of the Realm, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives us great pleasure to welcome our own Mr. President here today at the official commissioning of the new terminal of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. And I owe it to Mr. President to know that 80% of those in the hall had been here patiently waiting for you since 8 o'clock in the morning because of their commitment to Mother Nigeria. And so today we witness a epoch, very, very epoch-making occasion, an occasion I call a special August occasion in the month of March. But because time has already been spent, we wouldn't take much of our time any longer. But today we're all excited that something like this is happening in the annals of the history. And more importantly, under the watch of a gentleman that dreams aviation, sleeps aviation, thinks aviation, walks aviation, a man you call the brand of aviation in Nigeria, our own Honorable Minister, Hadi Sirika. Without much ado, we'll go to the next item on the program, and I'd like to talk by introducing to you my colleagues here on the podium. It's a collective responsibility here. I have with me a professional colleague, Dr. Victor Oche, an aviator. He simply introduces himself as. And led to Dr. Victor Oche is Eta Naji. Eta, can we see you? And I remain your television anchor, Omotayo Omotosho, member, Federal Republic. You're welcome. Over to you, Dr. Oche.
Your Excellency, Mr. President.
The project described the child of necessity is expected to give a facelift to the aviation industry. It is one of the 5 brand new terminals It is one out of the 5 terminals that has been commissioned across the country, one in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Enugu, with only one in Kano remaining to be commissioned.
Members of the National Assembly here present, members of Federal Executive Council, Your Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am privileged to make these remarks on this auspicious occasion of the commissioning of the new terminal building at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. It is more delightful and satisfying that our most revered leader President Muhammadu Buhari is here by himself to personally perform the commissioning ceremony. It was in this city, this amazing city, where I lived 27 years of my life, struggling it out, that we coined the slogan, GMB means business. GMB stands for General Muhammadu Buhari at that time. This occasion is a testimony to the fact that indeed PMB means business. The terminal you are about to commission, Mr. President, has the capacity to process 14 million passengers per annum. There are 66 number check-in counters, 5 number baggage collection carousels, 16 number immigration desks at arrival, 28 number desks at departure, 8 number security screening points, 6 number passenger boarding bridges with remote boarding and arrival. Other facilities include 2 number food courts, 4 number premium lounges, 22 number guest rooms and spas, 16 number airline ticketing offices, visa on arrival and port health facility, praying areas, more than 3,000 square meters of duty-free spaces, and over 5,000 square meters lettable utility spaces. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start by stating that aviation provides the only rapid worldwide transportation network, which makes it essential and most important infrastructure for global logistical ecosystem. It boosts economic growth, creates jobs, and facilitates international trade, commerce, and tourism, ultimately raising the standards of living of the teeming population. Aviation remains the only medium to achieving continental integration and interaction, the dream of the African Union Agenda 2063. Permit me to state that a recent aviation sector study for Nigeria by International Air Transport Association, IATA, in June 2020 showcases the significant contribution of air transportation to the national economy through providing 241,000 jobs, direct and indirect, and a contribution of 1.7 billion to the national economy. However, overall goal is to grow the aviation sector contribution from current 0.6% to 5% approximately, meaning 14.166 billion US dollars. In the same vein, IATA projects the air transport market in Nigeria is focused under the current trend scenario to grow by 174% in the next 20 years. This will result in additional 9.4 billion passenger journeys by 2037. If met, this increased demand would support approximately 4.7 billion US dollar GDP and almost 555,700 jobs. This is according to IATA. Mr. President, sir, when this government came into power in 2015, the aviation industry was faced with many challenges, some of which were unemployment of professionals, scarcity of foreign exchange, budgetary constraints, sustainability of waiver of aircraft and spares, and decaying and aging infrastructure and obsolete equipment, poor and intolerable conditions of airport facilities and equipment, as well as blocked airline funds, to mention but a few. Since you took over, Mr. President, you have done quite a lot. You've been solving these problems. They've been reduced to barest minimum. A case in point is when this country was under recession in 2016, when the price of crude has dropped from $140 to a barrel to 27. When we were in recession, when we've taken over power newly, Mr. President approved and released the sum of $600 million US blocked funds belonging to international airlines. Consequently, the aviation roadmap was developed and graciously approved by Mr. President on 18th of October, which includes the national carrier, airport concession, maintenance and repair overhaul facility, Aviation Leasing Company, Agro-Allied Cargo Terminals, as well as Aerospace University, and so on. The roadmap projects are being undertaken through PPP, and the ministry has been working very closely with ICRC to ensure we have credible and transparent process that will result in value for money. In particular, the airport concession project, including the new terminals, has reached advanced stage. The ministry will be issuing requests for proposal to the shortlisted firms before the end of March this year. We also expect to announce a partner in second quarter of 2022 and hand over in Q4 2022. Mr. President, sir, in 2015, the total passenger number was a mere 8 million. With the implementation of some of this roadmap policy, the passenger figure grew to about 18 million in 2019. In 4 years, we grew from 8 to 18 million, making aviation the fastest growing sector of the national economy pre-COVID, according to Federal Ministry of Budget, Finance and National Planning and MBS. Your Excellency may wish to note that despite the devastating impact of COVID-19 on the global aviation industry, the domestic industry has grown leaps and bounds, becoming the third fastest growing sector of this economy, even with COVID. And this is Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. Ladies and gentlemen, pardon me. It is important to mention that the country stands to gain significant benefits in restoring and maintaining connectivity within, to, and from the country Nigeria. Analysis from IATA shows that aviation sector provides 341 billion naira GDP contribution. Within the period under review, 160,000 local jobs created and 535 billion expenditure from visitors will be solely generated from restoring and maintaining this connectivity. Consequently, therefore, sir, these are numbers that are at risk if that connectivity is threatened by the continuous travel restrictions due to COVID-19 pandemic. Mr. President, aviation business suffers from issues of access to foreign exchange by local and foreign airlines and the ability to repatriate block funds. Nigeria currently holds $283 million of foreign airline funds in the country. I'd like to humbly request the support of the Central Bank of Nigeria through the directive of Mr. President to prioritize access to foreign exchange for all carriers, both local and foreign, and to work out mechanism to clear the backlog, the existing backlog, and urgently prevent subsequent build-up for the global health of the economy. Mr. President is aware of the recent chaos in the sector caused by lack of Jet A1. Flights were unduly delayed and or cancelled unpleasantly. While apologizing to our teaming passengers, even though this is global, I wish to use this medium to humbly request Mr. President to direct the NNPC to import Jet A1 in good quantities and devise means to sustain supply, as well as directing the Central Bank to allocate foreign exchange for the major marketers to sustain the supply. Mr. President, I would like to respectfully assure you and the general public that the ministry is committed to proper maintenance of all terminal buildings and will integrate them with the infrastructure to ensure that passengers and other users have pleasant experiences each time they make use of these edifices. I must pause here for a while to thank you, Mr. President, on the carbon offsetting and reduction scheme for international aviation, otherwise known as CORSIA, designed to lower carbon emissions for international flights to curb the aviation impact on climate change. It was developed by International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, and adopted in October 2016, and its goal is to have a carbon neutral growth from 2020 in 3 phases. Mr. President, you approved, and consequently Nigeria volunteered to join the pilot scheme, and as today, there are 107 countries participating in the scheme. At this juncture, I would like to extend our deepest appreciation to you for ensuring adequate funding for various aviation sector projects, including the Enugu Airport, Maiduguri, and Abuja airports from among many. I'd like to thank you, the relevant stakeholders, including leadership of the Aviation Committees in National Assembly, for consistent legislative support, while making a particular mention of the recent passage of the Amendment Bill of the Act Civil Aviation. This Act, Mr. President, was first enacted in 1963. And nothing was done to this Act until in 2006 when we tinkered with it. And today we are having a brand new Civil Aviation Act waiting for your asset. Mr. President, the other name for aviation since we took over in 2015 is growth, growth, and growth. We have in Nigeria successfully debunked the gospel truth that aviation doubles every 15 years. Currently, in Nigeria, the number of airports, including those currently being developed, has doubled. The passenger number has quadrupled. Other entrepreneurship, including catering and ground handling, has blossomed. Number of airlines and jobs have quadrupled. And Mr. President, thank you for this growth.
Please celebrate the poster boy God is giving to us, and thanks to Mr. President.
You just heard from the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Senator Adesirika, talking about development in the aviation sector and lauding President Muhammadu Buhari's intervention in the sector. He recounted the development of aviation roadmap, provision of $600 million as stimulus for the sector, among other interventions by the President. This particular event is about the new terminal, which has been in the work for about 9 years, having been initiated in year 2013, along with 4 other terminals. With this inauguration, the new terminal will effectively close the gap in air passenger traffic created by existing terminal, which could barely cope with the volume of passengers coming into and going out of the country.
President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, Your Excellency, the Ambassador Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Mr. Hadi Saraka, all invited dignitaries. Please allow me to stand on already established protocol. With immense joy, I, on behalf of the management of CCCC, heartily welcome Your Excellency, Mr. President, to this epoch-making ceremony, commissioning the new ultramodal terminal building at Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. I also want to use these opportunities to welcome all distinguished guests joining us for this occasion. We are indeed very grateful that Your Excellency, Mr. President, make all the time for your business schedule to grace this occasion. This commissioning brings the total number of commissioning new terminal airport at our airports to 4. Your Excellency, maybe please recall the new terminal buildings at Port Harcourt, and Abuja were also commissioned by you. This project underlines the commitment of CCCC towards economic and social development of Nigeria. The socio-economic benefits of this new terminal building cannot be overemphasized. It will not only increase the number of passengers passing through these airports, but also its processing of passenger and cargo, which will propel Nigeria into a transportation hub in Africa. Permit me to use this media to express our appreciation to present administration under the leadership of Mr. President for all the support and the encouragement. Despite the present challenge economic situation around the world, Your Excellency has continued to deliver landmark projects in various parts of the country. Permit me to also acknowledge the unwavering support we received from the diligent Minister of Aviation, ensure that project is completed. We are equally grateful to the Export and Import Bank of China for their support to this project. On our part, we will continue to partner with the government at all levels toward the national development, especially in infrastructure and investment with our best service. In the future, our commitment will be overall development of the country, and we're looking forward to working with the federal government and the state governments to deliver world-class infrastructure to the country. Thank you, Your Excellency, for the support and the encouragement. I wish everybody a wonderful stay and enjoy the ceremony here. Thank you again.
Thank you. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I bring forth His Excellency Trai Jiangchun, the Ambassador, People's Republic of China to Nigeria, for his remark.
Your Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Your Excellency Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Governor of Lagos State. Governors of the states, our host, Senator Hadi Sirika, Honorable Minister of Aviation. Your Excellency Baba Ahmed Jida, Nigeria Ambassador to China. Members of the National Assembly, Ministers of the Cabinet, Mr. Chu Maoming, Consul General of the People's Republic of China in Lagos, Mr. Jiang Yigao, Chairman of CCECC Nigeria, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today really is a big day, good day for Nigeria and China. Being the 14th Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, this month will be the full year for me in Abuja in Nigeria. I'm very honored and lucky to have the opportunity to witness 3 times, 2 times in Lagos. First is about the railway flag off ceremony. And today we have 3 big projects. The Lekki Deepwater Harbor, refinery, and this brand new, modern, state-of-the-art terminal. I'm very proud the 2 countries work together under the leadership of Mr. President to achieve this very successful project. Mr. Chairman told me my remarks should be short, but I try to cover the point. I'd like to use 6 P's to raise your attention how China and Nigeria, what we have done. The first is evaluation of this big project. My understanding, this aviation terminal will elevate the international image of Nigeria. We can bring more travelers to Nigeria. I think that more profit to the business and more benefit to the people. I congratulate all the participants, including the Minister of Aviation, your team, and also my fellow Chinese CCECC and the chairman and his team to make this happen today. We should give them big applause. The second P I want to mention here, I really understand, Mr. President, your steadfast, persistent philosophy of infrastructure. This is your national policy. We know that without this policy, the whole country cannot move forward. So we believe infrastructure is not only the bottleneck for the next development Nigeria, and also for China. So I really thank you, Mr. President, for this national plan to give the Chinese company the opportunity. I just said the policy. The second is about the program. Last November, Chinese President Xi Jinping, His Excellency, proposed 9 programs between China and Africa. This 9 program covers: 1 is health, 2nd, power alleviation, 3rd, about the trade promotion, the 4th, investment promotion, the 5th is green development, and the 6th is digital economy, the 7th is about capacity building, and 8th is people communication. The last one is peace and security program. Mr. President, I want to share with you, we are working with your team, with your administration, and I will cover this year about the specific plan. Last year, we 2 governments have decided to establish intergovernmental committee. I'm proud to share with you this year, before the end of June, the first meeting will be held in Beijing. We will formulate our concrete specific plan for the 2 countries. I want to say we have 5 subcommittees. We have finished 3 subcommittees. 1 is about security military subcommittee. And 2nd is about the culture and tourist committee. And the 3rd is about the politics and diplomacy subcommittee. Mr. President, we are preparing for the next 2 subcommittees. 1 is about economic sectors. 2nd is about agricultural committee. I know, Mr. President, you will attach great importance to agriculture. So we believe that these 5 subcommittees will make a plan for decision before the end of June in Beijing. So this is the 4th plan and this program. 5, I will use the word partner. Mr. President, governors, ministers, being the Chinese ambassador, I want to say China really is qualified, capable, and competent, and also responsive partners. Believe me, I will work hard to work in these sectors with you all. The 5P, I think, is very important, but the most important is political consonance, political support. Mr. President, I thank you on behalf of China, behalf of Chinese President Xi Jinping, and thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your support in the international affairs. For example, Olympic Games. President sent 2 messages, 1 letter, and say to the public, support Chinese holding of Winter Olympic Games. We thank you, Chinese people watching in the TV. We also, the Chinese here, know that Nigeria support China in the international arena, including the Athletic Games, including the Human Rights Council, and I cherish very much. So I want to share with you that without the political consonance, without the political support, we cannot make economic cooperation and the security and the military collaboration, international affairs coordination, and the people communication. So I would like to conclude my remarks. I hope that Nigeria, we will have a good prospect. We would like to have a good cooperation for rapid progress. I do believe in the future, Nigeria could be a prosperous country, prosperous nation, not only in West Africa, in the whole African continent, and also in the international community. So I think that 9P really is important for China and Nigeria, because Chinese tradition 9, that means we could last forever. I do hope that friendship, cooperation, economic, and also military security sectors and people's communication, we can work together to achieve more for the people, bring the tangible result to the people of the two nations. I thank you. Thank you for the kind attention.
The new international aviation terminal was built under a bilateral arrangement between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the People's Republic of China. As mentioned by the Ambassador of People's Republic of China to Nigeria, His Excellency Qiu Yanchun. This is expected to lead to more collaboration between the two countries, working together to drive mutual development in several areas. The project is expected to elevate the international image of Nigeria, thereby attracting more business interest in the country.
I could say that you are not pulling your weight. Please give him a round of applause. Except those that choose not to see. But as a veteran broadcaster and a TV journalist, we realize that we cannot be talking of aviation today without the weight that you are pulling in the field of environment, in the field of air travels and tours, in the field of science and technology, in the field of agriculture, just name it. And so we're here today, not just to support you, but to congratulate you. And before we go to listening to you talk to us, we all have been waiting patiently since 8 o'clock, I said. We thought some people would leave. They said no. Since Mr. President is in town, even if you came 5 p.m., you will meet them here. So let's put our hands together for our own dynamic, resourceful, hardworking, diligent Executive Governor, Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. You're welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, my brother governor, the governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, Your Excellency, the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, my good friend and brother, the Consul General, and also the MD of CCCC, the members of the National Assembly that are here, acknowledge each and every one of you, Honorable Minister, my Deputy Governor and Cabinet members, captains of industry, especially in the aviation industry, royal fathers that are here, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President has not asked me to apologize, but I think it's important for us to put this in perspective. Earlier today, it's had to do 3 important assignments, which were not only far-reaching, but they were the very first of our time. Mr. President, I've had to commission in the Center of Excellence, in the largest economy of our country, I had to commission the largest fertilizer in the whole of Africa earlier today. Mr. President, I had to visit and to do a tour of the largest refinery coming up in the entire world. Mr. President, I had to go on a tour of the deepest deep sea ports in the whole of West Africa, also today. And so on his behalf, I want to thank all of you, Lagosians, Nigerians, that haven't waited patiently for him. And now here today, he's handing over again a Terminal 2 at the largest international and domestic airport in our country. And you can see that today alone has been all brand new things, breathtaking commissioning, and these are deep infrastructure that will change the face of our country for a very, very long time. Mr. President, people might have forgotten that it's over 45 years ago when Terminal 1, the first terminal, was built. You are the only one that has put together a full second terminal at the gateway, at the international gateway of our country. The Murtala Mohammed International Airport has a traffic of over 50 to 60% of international and domestic travel of our country. And so what you're doing, or what you've done, it's not only about job creation, it's not only about ensuring that our youth truly believe in your government, but it's about opening up the international corridor of our country and making Nigeria truly, really accessible to the entire world. And so we want to thank you for all of these great feats that you have brought to us as a nation here today again. But beyond just bringing all of this, it's about speaking to infrastructure, which I think the Chinese ambassador talked about. There are no meaningful developments if indeed you do not have meaningful infrastructural renewal and redevelopment. And an airport happens to be one of the strongest and one of the well thought out infrastructure that you can indeed put together for your citizens. And we're happy that that is happening here today. This is our international gateway. This is where Nigeria meets the international community, and you have given this for us here today. I want to thank you, thank the Honorable Minister, thank the operators in this industry, because there's so many of them that have been privately run, and they're doing your country, they are doing our country, a great service. And I want to thank all of them. They continue to, when even it's very difficult to keep in that industry, from what the statistics the Honorable Minister have said, right, they continue to see double-digit growth, and they continue to see, an improvement in a very difficult industry like the aviation. And I think they deserve another round of applause. Mr. President, I think is also to mention that all we're about is about creating and identifying real partnership. And that's what the Chinese ambassador have said. That's what the MD of CCCC have said. It's about a partnership between two great countries. One that is the largest country in the world and one that is the largest country in Africa. And I think that partnership is real, right? And it's something that we all can celebrate today. But beyond the international partnership, there's also a local partnership. So there's a Lagos partnership, and there's a Ministry of Aviation and a FAN partnership that we're also signing off here today. And for us to have this infrastructure, which we are truly, really delighted and happy with, I'm sure after your speech, Your Excellency, we're also forming another partnership, which is how do we solve access to this international corridor? How do we bring passengers, going through the rigmarole of traffic in Lagos? How do we make sure that they have a worthy and a journey experience that is expected of an international airport like this? And so that's why the partnership between the Lagos State Government and FAN, representing the Ministry of Aviation, is also something that we are truly, truly, really proud and happy to also be part of. Because what we're about to do is about opening up, other alternative routes that will bring people onto this airport, that will make communication and that will make journey time into this airport, an experience that will be delightful and it will be enjoyable to each and every one of us. And so you can see that Mr. President is not just about agriculture, which is always very, very passionate about. That's why we've commissioned a fertilizer today, and we'll be coming to commission our own rice mill in future. But it's also about infrastructure, which is the cardinal, gateway to ensure that people can have access to the real things that we'll talk about in countries like Nigeria. I want to thank you all again for being very patient with us because we have been very, very excited with all of the great things that is happening or that has happened in Lagos today. KBSC, this is another big first for us, and I think Mr. President deserves a round of applause. The Minister of Aviation deserves a round of applause, and all of us being part of this sector, and I think we're just writing ourselves again in history. Mr. President, thank you again for being part of this. And Minister of Aviation, thank you for doing this to us. Thank you.
An excited Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, appreciating this initiative that has come to birth in the state. He spoke about the need for more partnerships in order to reap the dividends of the project, especially where it concerns more access routes into the airport for passengers coming to the airport so that they can have easy access. It is a happy day for all stakeholders here because whereas the old terminal has the capacity to process a little less than 8 million passengers per annum, the new terminal has the capacity to process 14 million passengers per annum, thereby eliminating delays, fast-track passengers facilitation, and increase the nation's earnings from non-aeronautic sources. Indeed, this is another huge step forward in the nation's infrastructural drive. In a little moment, the President himself, President Muhammadu Buhari, will take the podium and inaugurate this new project and signal the commencement of its operations for the benefit of passengers, the entire aviation sector, and the country at large, including the international community.
Main mode of transportation in the metropolis. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, while I'm reading out, it's all about what they are signing today. The solution, therefore, to the end the traffic gridlock on Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway in 4 phases. Phase 1, new toll road along the Murtala Mohammed Airport. Future developments will follow. And the phase 3 is a southern connection to Egbe Road. His Excellency, Mr. Governor, our chief host, is whispered enormously on the core importance of both international and local MOUs, understanding synergy, which is the sum total of why aviation exists. The regulator is as important as the operator. And this seamless marriage is the beauty of safety, which is a sum total of what aviation is all about. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you allow me, Mr. President, sir, to invite the team from the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, led by the Minister of Aviation and His Excellency, the Lagos State Governor, leading the Lagos team for this awesome agreement being signed today. First, allow me welcome Your Excellency, the Lagos team, because FAN is the host.
On the new terminal is projected to generate about 3,000 direct and indirect employment for Nigerians. The project has 66 check-in counters that will help to process the high number of passengers that has been built to be able to handle. Other facilities include 5 baggage collection carousels, 16 immigration desks at arrival, 28 immigration desks at departure, 8 security screening points, 6 passengers boarding bridges, 2 food courts, 2 premium lounges, 22 guest rooms and spa, 16 airlines ticketing offices, more than 3,000 square meters of duty-free space, and approximately 5,000 square meters of lettable utility space. Indeed, this is a world-class facility that has the capacity to improve the image of the country in the international community.
The surveyor in Fan Remi Aromi Wura is not left out. Celebrate her, please. I'm told Mr. Yemi Ayi Loshaw is here too to join them. Mr. President, sir, they will be signing this agreement. Whilst you're doing that, the media team gets set for us for the montage. It's all about synergy. It's all about agreement. It's all about shared responsibility. It's all about interconnectivity and the spirit of intermodal transportation system, a warm integration of our transport system that as you land, you'll be able to navigate to your home. We can't thank you enough, Your Excellency, Mr. President. We salute the courage of Lagos State government. And whilst we're here, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me salute again the presence of the chairman of the ruling party, the governing party, His Excellency, the Governor of Yobe State. Governor Buni, you're welcome, sir. Thanks for being quite loyal and driving the ship of state.
What just witnessed is the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Lagos State government and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, Aviation, on Perimeter Expressway. The president, who is about giving his address, is also a witness to this signing of the memorandum of understanding. The general intention of this memorandum of understanding is to address other concerns that will create access routes that will facilitate easy access into the airport for passengers.
The terminal buildings on the other side of the airport, which is called domestic, and this one of the international, within the life of your administration, there will be another partnership, likely with Lagos State, to create an air rail connectivity by rail between these two terminals to shorten the distance and the time the business is being taken in this environment. We appreciate you. Growth and growth is the name of civil aviation under PMB. Thank you, sir.
The second name of Mr. President now is growth, growth, and growth. Who doesn't want to be associated with growth? Before I call on Mr. President to deliver his address, I need to quickly let you know that what is happening here today should gladden everybody's heart. Because just about 2 weeks ago, someone sent me a message from the United States in relation to our airport and sent me a picture of our conveyor belt where we collect our baggage and the fact that it was faulty and some personal effects of ladies and gentlemen scattering everywhere. And the note she sent to it was disturbing. I have a passion for Nigeria. As soon as I saw that, I quickly called my friend, MD Fan. I sent it to him. My brother said, what's going on? This is not representing us well at all. And then he quickly replied me, don't worry, my sister. With Mr. President, he has just recently approved a new installation of what you found broken down. And tell whoever sent it to give us a few days. It will be history and a good story to tell. Let's give a round of applause for our own Mr. President, who is seated here today. As soon as I got that response, I quickly sent it back that the Habinja or bad news, I have good news for you. And so it gladdens everybody's heart when we got here today, realizing this additional progress being made in the history of aviation. Mr. President is going to give us an address, but I'll call him by this particular Greek adage. If you go read his mind, for those that can read mind, Mr. President may be saying today, I must pass this way but once. The good I can do, let me do it now. Let me not defer it, nor neglect it, because I may or may not pass this way again. End of quote of Mr. President. Please put your hands together as I call on our own indefatigable Mr. President, the father of the nation, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR.
Please sit down. Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, and Your Excellency, the Governor of Yobe State, members of the National Assembly, Honorable Minister of Aviation, stakeholders of the aviation industry, members of the diplomatic corps, senior government officials, traditional rulers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I am here today to perform the official commissioning of the newly constructed terminal building at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. This event is an eloquent testimony to the strong commitment of our administration to the development of world-class infrastructure across all sectors of the Nigerian economy. Our continuous investment in the building of long-lasting infrastructure in the aviation, road and rail transportation, agriculture, telecommunications, and other critical sectors is yielding massive results, and the people of Nigeria are now increasingly attesting to benefiting from the associated dividends. Starting from the year 2015, when we commenced our first tenure in office as government, we have been deliberate and consistent in identifying and investing in critical projects that will improve the standard of living of our people, as well as contribute immensely to our growth and development as a nation. Despite obvious limitations in terms of availability of resources, our investments in interstate rail connectivity, road networks, agriculture, power and telecommunication, just to mention a few, have been unprecedented. Bearing in mind the importance of airport infrastructure as a catalyst for economic growth, foreign direct investment, and development globally, this administration decided to prioritize the completion and delivery of 5 brand new international terminals, which were at 11% completion level when we came into power in 2015. This aligns perfectly with our aviation roadmap, which was developed in 2016 for the purposes of establishing critical infrastructure, including a national carrier, maintenance, repairs, and overhaul center, and improved airport terminals through concession to boost aviation practice and take the industry to the next level, reflecting global standards. We have also complemented these robust initiatives with specific fiscal policies to drive aviation infrastructure renaissance. These include the designation of 4 airports, namely Lagos, Abuja, Kano, and Port Harcourt as free trade zones in which customs duty is not applicable. Removal of VAT on all forms of shared transportation, including air transportation, and exemption of commercial aircraft and spare parts from VAT payment. Similar projects at both Namandi Azikiwe International Airport and Port Harcourt International Airport were completed and commissioned by this administration, and our people have since been benefiting from the positive economic impacts of these magnificent terminals. The one in Kano has also been completed and will be commissioned soon, while work continues space to complete that of Enugu shortly. I therefore congratulate all Nigerians on the successful completion and commissioning of the terminal building at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, our premier airport.
Yes, sir.
I am confident that the new terminal, with 66 check-in counters, 16 immigration desks at arrival, 28 immigration desks at departure, and 8 security screening points, among others, will go a long way in contributing to the socio-economical and prosperity of our great nation. This improvement will increase airport operations and management services to about 14 million passengers per annum, with attendant positive multiplier effects by creating about 3,000 direct and indirect employment opportunities for our youth, increased inflow of foreign direct investments, and exponential growth in the gross domestic product. As approved aviation roadmap is being implemented, we begin to experience an unprecedented growth of the sector, putting pressure on the infrastructure and making business inefficient. If nothing is done, the growth will be stemmed and all the opportunities lost. Government is responding by further investments and partnerships in the sector to attend to this challenge. Consequently, the Minister of Aviation has been directed to fast-track the airport concession program. Similarly, the Abuja second runway is being fast-tracked. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning has been directed to source sufficient funding for the project, while the Minister of FCT is directed to conclude the tiling of the approved 12,000 hectares of land to accommodate the runway and other development projects. Let me express my deepest appreciation to our partners in this project, the government and people of the Republic of China, through the China Export-Import Bank and CCECC Nigeria Limited, for their commitment and support towards the completion of this infrastructure. Let me also commend the Federal Ministry of Aviation and its agencies, particularly Federal Air Force Authority of Nigeria, for working assiduously towards the realization of the project. With the delivery of this project, a new era of safety, security, and comfort has been ushered into the Nigerian aviation industry, and I am persuaded that it will get better with the passage of time. On this delightful note, I hereby commission the new terminal building at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, and flag off its official commissioning. I thank you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Your Excellencies,
An equally happy President Muhammadu Buhari just delivered his address, noting the fact that the federal government prioritized construction of 5 brand new terminals in airport to change the landscape of aviation in the country. He noted that the new terminal will go a long way in improving socio-economic activities by promoting ease of doing business, increased inflow of investment in the country.
allow me to invite the Honorable Minister of Aviation to lead His Excellency, Mr. President, His Excellency, the Governor, distinguished senators in our midst, members of the House of Representatives, and the VVIPs for the tour. And before them, a very quick snapshot with His Excellency, Mr. President. Senate Committee on Aviation House Committee, you can quickly join them. Senators here, quickly join them for this signature shot. Distinguished senators, please join Mr. President.
Having delivered his address, Mr. President is now expected to unveil the plaque and inaugurate the new terminal building. Of course, that will be followed by a facility tour of the new terminal building. It's been a successful event here, and the President is now leading other guests to unveil the plaque and inaugurate the new terminal building.
Keep playing, don't stop.
Hello and welcome to an abridged version of Nationwide on the Network Service of the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta. More than 50,000 children orphaned by Boko Haram insurgency are spread in internally displaced persons camps across the northeastern parts of the country. Governor Babagana Zulum and the Sultan of Sokoto described this as a time bomb and advocated immediate attention from all stakeholders to prevent it from exploding. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
It's really amazing how these children have been transformed from the state of hopelessness to the ones people now look onto to change the narrative in the northeast of Nigeria. And this is happening in just 5 years.
Thank you so much.
This is an initiative that was initiated and created by the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria in 2016. And we all felt very honored to join him in ensuring that this project runs so well.
The project is the Northeast Children Trust and the establishment of a learning center, launched by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as a private sector initiative to address the mental, emotional, and educational needs of children displaced or orphaned by the Boko Haram insurgency in the Northeast.
I think ultimately, service to the people is what our being in government is about. Also, I want to really commend Governor Zulum and, of course, his predecessor, Governor Shetima, for the great work they've done.
5 years down the line, this initiative is yielding the expected fruit as the children are now dreaming big.
To become a computer programmer.
If you imagine and look to Nigeria, you decide to be a doctor.
As you can see, this is the code we use in designing the website.
Anyone of you is interested for a web application, please don't hesitate to contact the Northeast Children Trust Programming.
Governor Babagana Zulum and the Sultan of Sokoto, while commending the initiator of the project and other partners, want more Nigerians to come on board to assist the traumatized children.
Well-meaning Nigerians to look into the possibility of establishing more schools in Borno State, not only in Borno State, in the Northeast, and also in the entire northern region, because we need them. Education is a game changer.
The governors, the federal government, the various philanthropists don't leave these children in the IDP camps to grow up because it's a very big danger.
5 years on, I cannot say our job is done, but I can say that our commitment remains as strong as day one.
Captain of the anniversary cake is Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and wife, Dolako, and are being supported by dignitaries, the staff, and pupils of the school.
And to legislative matters, Senate is to deliberate on the nullification of Section 84, subsection 12 of the amended Electoral Act 2022 by the Federal High Court, Umahia. This followed a point of order by Senator George Thompson Sekibo, who, through a matter of privilege, observed that the ruling of the Federal High Court, Umahia, infringes on the constitutional rights of senators as lawmakers. He emphasized on the need for the Senate to take a decision on the issue and to ensure that all is done within the ambit of the law.
What the man is relying on in his judgment is not the interpretation of the Constitution. The Constitution defines for us who is a civil servant and who is a public servant. I want to move that the Senate look into this matter and discuss it and take a stand on it. So whether we are to appeal on the matter.
So first we'll have executive session, then we'll come back to make decision. We'll be willing to deal with this issue tomorrow.
Section 10 of our Senate rules. It does not make provision for us to discuss this matter tomorrow. We'll have to discuss it because that is the matter on the floor.
Those in favor that we take this motion tomorrow say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Your point of order is sustained and the matter is referred to tomorrow for discussion.
The House of Representatives says the refusal by businesses and persons to use coins as legal tender is one of the contributory factors to inflation as prices of goods and services are summed up to the nearest Naira equivalent. In addition, a motion from Representative Muda Lawal Umar, the House noted that despite the huge budget by the federal government to produce coins, banks and businesses have over time led to its being out of circulation. Other countries, the lawmakers argued, make use of coins in both formal and non-formal transactions and wondered why the experience in Nigeria should be different. The Central Bank of Nigeria was therefore urged to reinforce the use of coins and ensure compliance by banks and businesses. Saudi Arabia says it will not incur responsibility regarding any shortage of oil supply as its oil facilities are attacked by Houthi terrorists. An official source in Saudi Foreign Ministry called on the international community to realize the gravity of Iran, which Saudi accused of equipping the Houthi terrorists with the technology of the ballistic missiles and advanced UAVs, with which they target the kingdom's production sites of oil, gas and refined products, resulting in serious consequences for upstream and downstream sectors, affecting the kingdom's production capacity and sustainability of energy supplies to global markets. The official source highlighted the importance of the international community to undertake responsibility to preserve the energy supplies and stand firm against the Iranian-backed Houthi terrorists militias that poses direct threat to the security of oil supplies in what the kingdom described as extremely sensitive circumstances witnessed by the global energy markets. Foreign ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation have brought to the fore the most sweeping agendas for combating crisis, poverty, inequality and climate change amongst member nations. Mahmoud Mohammed from Islamabad, Pakistan, reports that the agendas are considered on the must-to-do lists of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation.
Foreign ministers. This time, the event is taking place in Islamabad, Pakistan. 57 foreign ministers of member nations are in attendance. The Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan is also here with them, and the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres joins them virtually.
We should stay as a bloc and show our power in bringing about peace rather than becoming part of some conflict.
Inequity is blocking recovery, poverty is deepening, and countries are paralyzed by debt and liquidity issues. We must reform a morally bankrupt global financial system.
They are here for introspection, with the view to promote peace, unity, and economic development in member nations.
The OIC must call for additional commitments by the international community to achieve the agreed mitigation targets, support for adaptation, and loss and damage in developing countries due to climate change.
The Islamic Development Bank is also investing in inclusive human capital development and social infrastructure through investment in health, education, nutrition, and job creation.
It is obvious that our immediate preoccupation should be directed towards fashioning and implementing a robust post-COVID-19 recovery plan to respond to the needs of our people.
These include economic, cultural, social, humanitarian, and scientific. The 48th session of OIC's Conference of Foreign Ministers will also discuss issues of cooperation with the United Nations, the European Union, and the Russian Republic on the sidelines as international partners. From Islamabad, Pakistan, Mahmoud Mohammed, NTA News.
And we have Mahmoud Mohammed live via Zoom from Pakistan, and he'll be telling us, what to expect from the OIC session. Hello, Mahmoud, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right, thank you very much. Now tell us, Mahmoud, what do we expect from the 48th OIC session?
Well, a couple of issues were really at the opening ceremony of this session, and these issues are issues that border around the development of member nations and by extension, because the theme for this year's session is building partnership for unity, justice, and development. So there are about 57 member nations all in attendance, and including the People's Republic of China. Their foreign minister was also there, was in attendance, and the People's Republic of China really, gave their words to the OIC that they are ready to partner with the OIC, in areas of humanitarian services and other issues that would, bring about development, in the world in general. And also, talking about Africa's interest in OIC, Nigeria's foreign minister, talking about Ambassador Zubairu Dada, represented. He delivered a speech on behalf of African nations, and where he highlighted some key problems affecting the region. In places like issues in Central African Republic, Guinea, and issues of post-COVID-19 recovery and crises, happening in some part of the region. And one issue that was also discussed extensively is the issue of Islamophobia. Recently at the UN General Assembly, the United Nations declared that 15.
Okay. All right, Mahmoud, thank you very much. We will get to talk to you more in our subsequent bulletins. Thank you, because we really don't have much time now. Thank you so much, Mahmoud. Now, the issue of water and related challenges are again receiving global attention as the 9th World Water Forum opens in Senegal. Musbat and Wahab reports.
Ladies and gentlemen, the inaugural ceremony of the word literally converge on Dakar. It for issues directly connected to lives, water, and nature. And just like the event, the challenges in the sector too are large and global, with 2 out of 5 people in the world living in regions where water is scarce. It's a tale of paradox.
And when water is endangered, man is also endangered. The same goes with nature.
Population growth and increased use of water are creating water scarcity and intense competition for water.
Because the reality is that water can run out.
And so, African leaders here are concerned that despite the raw water volume on the continent, those who have access to safe one are just in the minority.
So this is the right opportunity for us to pursue the prophylaxis of pressure around water through dialogue and consultation between nations.
We need to ensure a political commitment of countries.
When all these things are discussed, you look at Nigeria, you see that these things are there. But it's also showing that, it's not only unique to Nigeria. This is something that is an international problem.
How to save water through innovative and better management, as well as harness it for domestic use, agriculture, and electricity, among others, will dominate discussions here in the next 5 days. In Dakar, Musbat and Wahab, NC News.
Now, ahead of the National Convention of the All Progressives Congress, APC, we have our correspondent Salihu Kwanara at the Eagle Square to update us on the level of preparations. Now, Salihu, tell us what is going on at the Eagle Square, Abuja.
Thank you, Ifoma. I'm right at the Eagle Square venue of the 2022 APC National Convention, scheduled to hold on the 26th of this month. The only visible activity going on here, as we can see right behind me, is the mounting of the stage. Though earlier I spoke with some of issues in charge of the activities going on here. They said Federal Capital Territory Authority officials came, do the cleaning, and as we can see at the other side, that is the VIP lounge. There I can see chairs being arranged. Cleaning is going on inside as well. Generally, the atmosphere is cool. I also noticed the presence of a combined security team here, the DSS and some police officers. And the situation here is cool and calm. You could see the resemblance of work going on to show that the All Progressive Congress is fully ready for its 5th National Convention come Saturday. And I have with me in here one of the member of the committee. He is the member of the venue committee, specifically in charge of stage and decoration, Malan Nasiru Danu. He is here with me. He is on ground to make sure that work going on go on in line with specification by the party. So, Malan Nasiru, can you update your viewer what level of work going on here?
Thank you very much. You can see exactly what we're doing here. The stage has been set. It's going to be a stage of 3 different stages here. And also, we have members of the committees here, my colleagues here with me, and different committees. Most of them will come here much later. But at the moment, you can see decoration is going on also. People are working on the decoration and the management of the Eagle Square. They're fixing all the lights. And then, of course, the most important thing here is the stage and the decoration. And that's what we're doing, our committee.
All right, it will interest Nigerians to know the number of delegates you are expecting to participate in this forthcoming exercise.
I don't have the number and all that, but I'm in charge of the venue. My committee, headed by Governor Plateau Lalong, the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, we're in charge of the venue. So what we're doing, we're working on the venue. But for the numbers of delegates, I'm not in a position to say that. We have election committee. We have also different committees, which much later they'll be here. I'm sure you hear that from them.
It's okay. Are you satisfied with the security as well? What security measures are you putting in place to make sure that, the delegates who are coming here, they are coming with full confidence that they are secured?
So as I said, there's different committees. We have security committee, and of course also, the security in FCT is very tight. We have the police, the DSS, and other security agencies. They are doing their best. If you check, you can see the vehicles all over. Security measures has been taken. I think it's looking very good.
Thank you, Malan. Thank you, Malan Nasiru. He is a member of the venue committee, specifically stage and decoration, giving us updates on the level of work going on here at the venue of the 2022 APC National Convention. And it's interesting to also update our viewer that we fall barely 4 days to this exercise. We are still expecting the screening committee to screen the aspirant ahead of this exercise. As at now, none of the aspirant has been screened for this exercise, though the committees assured us that